Hey guys. Okay. So, today I had a pretty awesome day. I started the day with a Kundalini yoga. I don't know if you've ever done Kundalini yoga, but I had never done Kundalini yoga, and it's all like breath work, and it was kind of intense. It was insane. It was perfect because it wasn't too much like muscle, and I pulled my hamstring in this really weird place. It's like between your groin and your hamstring. So it's like a really tough area to like roll out, because if you pull your muscle, you want to like roll it out so that it doesn't like, heal in a ball. You want to like, re-stretch it out. But yeah, it's been really hard for me to like roll it or even get to it, and honestly kind of a pain in the butt, and it hasn't been bothering me too much, so I haven't like intentionally worked on it. But now it's like 3 months later, I'm like, okay, this hasn't healed, and it's getting kind of annoying, especially when I'm going to do some yoga stuff. So and it's like to the point where it's like if I were to strain this specific muscle, it would pull like pretty bad. So definitely don't want to get to that point. It's just in such a weird location too. That's like a muscle you don't really use until you do use it, and you're like, oh my god. And then you're like, damn it, I just pulled that. Yeah. So I did some acupuncture like last week and stuff like that to try to heal it and things like that. But so today I was trying to take it easy, and I'm going to try to take it easy probably for the rest of this trip. So I'm going to be light with my stretching and all that stuff, which is going to be kind of hard being around all the good yoga and stuff, but I can still practice. I just have to, it's only very specific. It's like if you're straddling or if you're stretching your hamstrings, which is like a lot of the yoga poses, but I don't have to be doing it the full length that I usually do it, so I can be easy with it. But I don't know why I brought that up. But anyways, I had a really good day today because of the Kundalini yoga. Yeah, Kundalini is cool because it's like breath work. So it's kind of weird too, because like it's like called lion's breath, where like you stick your tongue out and then you like breathe the air out. So it's like you're like letting go of, whatever, and getting all of the stagnant energy out of your body. Because if you like hold emotion, like if you don't express yourself, like last night I did a pillow talk on I was distressed, and I was like trying to like run away from my emotions, and really the underlying emotion was sadness. But if you remember, my emotional child showed up like stubborn and angry and frustrated, and then when she released that, she was able to actually feel her sadness. And so that's essentially like that stagnant energy. If you don't release that sadness, it'll just be stagnant energy that'll turn into like frustration or anger or whatever. And so that's what we were doing with this Kundalini, was like letting it out, And we did like a 20-minute meditation after, where it was kind of like she brings you on this path, and like you're kind of in a lucid dreaming state. And she had you like, and lucid dreaming is like, I don't really know too much of the ins and outs about it, but it's essentially like it is a state between sleeping and like meditation and sleeping, and you can like physically travel places. Like you are aware, or you can become aware within a lucid dream that you are dreaming, and you can then control the dream and take it where you want it to go. And so there are people that like, one lady, I think I heard this in a podcast, she had poor eyesight, and she like envisioned herself while she's in lucid dream like having clear eyesight, and then all of a sudden she woke up with clear eyesight. It's like crazy shit. It's crazy. I gotta look more into it. It's funny too, this is a realization that I had today. It's like, you know, I could think like, oh, lucid dreaming is hard. You know, that's actually what I have been telling myself, which is why I haven't like fully gone down the rabbit hole. But I will say, I only, like back when I met Ben, I was like getting super into all this different meditation stuff. I was in like a really good state because I just finished Tony Robbins' event. And so I was listening to all these different meditations, and a lot of them, like one of them specifically was on lucid dreaming. I got so into it. And I think like maybe one or two of them after that were on it. And so I started practicing it. And then I just remember I did it one time, and it was like the coolest thing. I was soaring over the ocean, and then I realized that I was doing it and I was controlling the dream. And then like, you know, I soared to like a different, like I physically chose to soar to a different section of the ocean where there are like bigger waves and stuff. It was like so cool, and it was like so, like you were so there in the present moment. And it was like quiet and so calm, and it was like the most beautiful thing ever. And I remember feeling like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can navigate myself in this like wonderful space. It was cool. But so what I'm saying, it's like, for some reason in my head, I say it's like quote unquote hard, but I've already like kind of done it. So, and I haven't really tried to do it since. It's not that I meant to do it. Excuse me. It's not that I meant to do it in that moment. I was just like really aware of the ability to do that. And I had been studying it, and I like kind of, I don't know how to describe how it happened. I guess I had the intention of trying it, but it's not like something that you can just like flip a switch and do. It's like, you know, it's similar to meditation. You can't just flip a switch, you know, and intellectually say, go meditate. It's like more just like an internal, like shutting off, you know, there's no right, there's no wrong way to do it. It's just you're sitting there and you're paying attention to your breath and focus on your breath. Yeah. No, but so that's a realization I had, and actually what I've been seeing a lot, it's like I keep identifying these things as hard, and that's just like that's just something that means nothing. Like, what makes something hard? Right? So, and everything that you think is hard ends up not being hard once you learn how to do it. And so it's like when you say something's hard, it's like, why even put that word to it and just say, it's easy. You just gotta learn how to do it. So every time I like think of something that I say is hard, I'm like, well, is it? Like, it's actually not. And most of my response to me saying that's not hard is me saying that I just have to keep myself in a positive state. Like a positive present state. It's basically being mindful. And like, well, that's hard. It's like, well, it's not really. You just focus on it and you give it priority and attention every day. So, yeah. Those have been popping around in my head. So like multiple times I've thought like, oh, what I'm doing down here, Rotan, is actually hard. And then I'm like, well, it doesn't have to be hard. I'm making it hard by thinking that it's hard. And I'm going to receive what I like predict or expect or think. So if I think that it's easy, then it'll be easy. And then it's like, I've noticed it just changes 100%, like the attitude that I'm bringing to everything around the project. yeah, like I procrastinated doing the scope of work for this for like weeks. And it was stressing me out so bad because I had never done a scope of work. I had no idea where to even start. And this, honestly, the scope of work has been something that's been a big stressor of mine, like long before, 3 weeks before this project started. It's been one of those things that I've been wanting to tackle for a while, but I just really never wanted to do it. So I finally did it, yay. And I did, I wasn't thinking all this positive stuff at that time, so I thought it was not very fun at all. I did bang it out in like 3 hours, but the part that was kind of annoying to me was to like go back through and reread it. And that's actually, now I'm saying this out loud, I'm realizing that's what I do with like writing in general. So I guess it's not just writing a scope of work, it's just writing in general. I hate pre-reading or rereading my work. I want someone else to do that for me. So, and then also like formatting and all this other little things. Yeah, I really don't enjoy that. But the scope of work itself, writing it, and this is how I feel with writing as well, it's like it's not bad the first time around. It's like having to go in and reread it and format it and make sure it's grammatically correct and all that stuff is kind of annoying. And they were like small, stupid little changes, like, oh, add more detail here. Oh, this one should be actually down there. And, oh, Andrea, the interior designer, is adding some things. So you got to copy what she's, it's all just like stupid little editing things after you actually make it. So the making it part actually wasn't that bad. It's the stuff that came after that was kind of a pain in the ass. And to be honest, that's the stuff that I made a pain in the ass by being so like controlling about the whole thing. If I had been more in flow state, I wouldn't have cared so much about what it came out looking like, or, I don't know how to describe what I did. I don't even know. So what I did basically is I broke it up into each room. And so each room obviously is going to have like skim coat, prep the walls for painting, and then paint them. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise. And like they're all gonna have like reinstall the outlet covers, So there are items in each, they're all gonna have do the floors. So there's items in each of the rooms that were like very repetitive, and some of them were like multiple lines. Like a lot of them were multiple lines. And so I ended up just like today going through it, because there were a couple of small things that I included for like super detailed, but we actually don't end up needing them, and actually they're making the contractors more confused. So the thing is, like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, so I made it like super uber detailed, and then I don't know if that actually, the first quote we got back was like so high. I knew it was going to be high, but I wasn't expecting like to be that high. Which ironically I'm just realizing. Well, I don't know. It's fine. But yeah, anyways, the quote came in high, and so I'm like, well, what is he quoting? Because it's not even that much stuff to do. Like, personally, I could do most of this stuff. And so as I was going in to do the edits that I just discussed, the interior designer, I was looking at the scope, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe he quoted us so high because the scope is so detailed. Like, it just find every little detail, which I would think would be good, and I've been told it's good, but maybe too much. I don't know. Like, I think he looked at it and just saw so many line items per room, and, it made him think that there's actually more stuff to be done. So I just went through and edited it and kind of consolidated a lot of the stuff. Like, instead of saying, cut hole in wall for window, line, new line, install wall, you know, new line, install rebar on exterior of window, you know. Instead of saying all that, I basically was just like, cut, I don't know what, cut, install, like, saved window from unit or something like that. I don't know. But it basically was one line. It took 3 lines down into one line and made it much more concise, much less detail, but you get the picture. So I'm curious to see what the other contractors come in with this new scope of work. But essentially, like, I banged that out today, and while I was doing it and making the edits and even the formatting, I was like, I was happy. I wasn't like annoyed. I wasn't like upset or anything, which I was when I had to do it the first time around. So, yeah, I think it's just like all in the mindset that you bring to it. Like the first time around, I thought it was going to be hard, and so therefore it was hard. Second time around, I was just like, this has to get done today, and I'm in a good state of mind, and I'm just like being present, and it was totally fine. It's kind of funny. But anyways, the Kundalini yoga set me up for a really fantastic day. I was very present the whole rest of the day. Going back to what she took us through, that meditation, that was pretty cool. And what it did in that meditation was get us to like observe what's happening in our lives instead of to experience it. And that's kind of like something that like meditation helps you with too. It's like you just observe your thoughts, you know, and you don't like get emotionally involved in any of them. So it was kind of cool. I was able to do that, I think, today, and it worked out really well. I was very successful. But yeah, that pattern of calling things hard has been, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about. It's been, it's happened in multiple areas. So, you know, with this project in general being quote unquote hard, or, you know, being down in Honduras and getting stuff done. Like for instance, I have to do my taxes still, and I need to get, the reason I haven't been able to do my taxes is because I have to get something from this attorney that did the closing for us. And I say it's hard to get in touch with her. It's like, of course it's going to be hard to get in touch with her if I say it's going to be hard to get in touch with her. So there's just a bunch of things that keep coming up with it. And every time I'm like, is it? So I think that's really good. I think it's a really good tip of advice, because honestly, I was probably saying this before like a million times about everything, because I've already caught it so many times on a couple different things. And so, you know, if it's, you know, it might be happening in your life and you may not even be aware of it. So I'm hoping that this video might bring some awareness to it and hopefully help you in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's about time for my bedtime. So I hope you enjoyed this pillow talk, and I thank you for watching if you are. Good night.